Hi, Reggie. Congratulations on being part of this play. God will do the rest. What,
Oh, thank you.
welcome. What inspired you to be part of this play?
Oh boy, just our culture, just being a part of something that's with our culture. We don't get to do that very often. We're a Filipino family that is going through dysfunction and unconditional love and growth. Like every Filipino family, you get to see other families go through that stuff on stage, but you don't get to see us go through that stuff on stage. And I think it's really fantastic that this is a world premiere. And that just being part of that community on stage all together is huge for us.
Yeah.
So, kind of like the Grim Aswang episode that I did, this is what it feels like to be with these people. So, I'm so happy to tell this story. And Nicholas has done a great job, and Fran is doing a great job directing.
Can you tell us the gist of the story and your role here? How much do you relate to your character?
I feel like my dad would relate to my character, but I relate to my dad. So this I play Ferdi de Dios, um, and I'm the patriarch of the family. So I'm the dad, and Rita Beth Apostol plays my wife, who plays Maggie, and we're a family that lives in Cerritos, California, and our daughter comes back to live with us with our grandson, who we don't really know very well. And she's coming to live with us because of a divorce that she's going through. And also, we have our other daughter who just moved out and is marrying this guy who is of the Jewish faith. So, very different for us. And it's about all the dysfunction and love and growth that all these things command from every character. Um, Very different from the Filipino culture. So having to deal with that with this family with a lot of humor and a lot of love and a lot of heart. So I think it's something that's incredibly relatable to not just Filipino families, but families all over. It's so universal.
Mhm. And God will do the rest in Tagalog means bahala na ang Diyos.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Ayun.
What do you think of this attitude? Is it a sign of one's strong faith or simply a fatalistic one? Why do you think this attitude is very Filipino?
Wow. Ang deep naman ng question mo. Very deep. I think, well, it's part of our culture to just believe. Just believe, just have faith. My mom says it now, just have faith. Just have faith. And I don't know, I don't believe it's a fatalistic attitude. I do believe there's a lot of growth to have in that. Like me, I grew up Catholic and in a Catholic school, until the end of high school. Um, And I question my faith. I question my faith. I question what I believe in. I'm a very, very spiritual person, and that led me to a lot of growth. So I think it was important to have religion in the family for me, and it still is. But I'm a questioner. I think it's very generational. I think our moms and dads that were raised in the Philippines, generational and cultural, are just like, you just believe. You just believe. You just believe. You go to church, you sit, you stand, you kneel, you do all of the above. But do you question what you're saying? Do you question what you're doing? And do you question what you're actually believing in? So I think there's a lot of growth to be had. I think myself, I have a very personal relationship with God. And to me, that works for me. But it didn't come without the cultural tradition of just having faith. It came with that. So I think it's a beautiful way to grow and it's a beautiful way to grow up.
Mhm. So, you've done a lot of TV shows and films. What is it about going back to the theater that makes it so special?
The special part is ang hirap. It's like it's so, we're used to filming like 10 pages, 5 pages a day. You learn those lines. And here it's like 2 hours. At first I was like, "Oh no, what have I gotten myself into? I haven't done a play in decades." But the fulfilling part, especially with this one, there's nothing like being with a Filipino cast. Being with a bunch of other Filipinos, it is just like all the and the pointing with the lips come out, and we just talk about our families, and we laugh, and we just we eat Filipino food together. We it just becomes this thing where it's a family, and I've missed that part of theater. You know, with TV and film, sure, we go film in places for 2, 3 months at a time. You film separately, so there's never really that time where it's like, a rehearsal together all the time, doing a show every night together all the time. And there's something very intimate, and when you rely on people on stage, kasi I know it. There's no, you can't make a mistake. You can't go, oh, cut. You just have to keep going, and so you have to trust these people. Um, this has been a really special group. Fran De Leon, her brother is married to my cousin.
Oh.
So we've known each other for a long time, but never knew each other when we were growing up. And she has turned into this amazing director with a lot of collaborative spirit, but also a lot of humanity about her. So she knows how to, and so much Filipino, right? She grew up in a huge Filipino family. So just having this experience with these people is really special for me. Very different from like Miss Saigon, where it's like Asian descents of all different races. This is purely Filipino, so it's really heartwarming and special, and I'm so proud to be part of it.
Mhm. And this is your first time to work with Fran as a director?
Well, Fran's directed me in several readings because I haven't really done a play. There have been times where she's asked me to do a play and I haven't really been available. But this is pretty special. I actually wasn't expecting to do this,
Mhm.
because I had done the last workshop of it, and I thought, okay, let's on to film and TV, more film and TV stuff. But when this offer came in, it was just too irresistible,
Mhm.
with these people and this play in particular. And I'd worked with artists at play before, and they are top notch, and they are so incredibly professional. And I had just been at that theater choreographing Mix Mix for John Rivera and Boney Alvarez. So it was, I think I've lived at that theater for the past like 4 months,
Mhm.
but it's been such a great experience. Pero pagod,
Mhm. Yeah, you mentioned
pagod na
about
ako.
choreography and you also choreographed the Imelda, a new musical. Would you like to
Yeah,
do more of that choreography work in the future?
no. Hindi. Listen, people ask me to do it. I had put those dancing shoes away. There's something about choreography that's different, because having done musical theater, it's always something that's I'm always interested in it, but it's hard work. And right now I'm so focused on my work as an actor, and so focused on that journey. But there was something really special about Mix Mix that was a blend of, this is a play with movement in it. And so I was interested in blending the acting part, because these people we were putting pedestrian movements, and how would they move as an actor to this particular story, not with real dance moves, but with like pedestrian moves. That interested me because there was an acting aspect
Mhm.
thrown in. Maybe later on down the line, but really, if I were to do that, I would want to direct and choreograph a show at
Mm.
the same time. I wouldn't just want to choreograph it. I'd want to direct and choreograph it.
And if you had a dream project, what would it be for theater?
For theater, yun, I think that, something very gritty, something very Filipino, something with dance, something, even if it did include singing, although how could you not include singing when it's Filipinos? So something like that. If there's something that, maybe Jennifer Paz would write and I'd direct and choreograph it, that would be great, because she is just killing the game and she's doing such a great job. But something that I could help collaborate with a Filipino with like a musical, I would love to do that. That would be a dream project for theater.
Mhm. What is it about Nicolas Pilapil's play that really moved you?
He knows so, and I don't know how old Nicholas is, but man, he speaks like an old soul, parang old soul siya. So he knows a lot about, I feel like I always say humanity, but that's the biggest thing, where he blends humanity with humor. The real things about Filipinos, there's some parts of this that are incredibly, like, so funny because of the way we are, and we just laugh at ourselves because of the way we are as Filipinos, you know and then he goes into this incredibly human part where we're all crying, and in dramatic situations it just seems so real. There are playwrights that you have to reach, to really get to a certain place. This feels like it's already embedded in me. I just have to look at my dad and how I was raised. And that's another thing. I don't have any kids, but I'm a very paternal person. I love my nieces. I treat them like my own kids. So having two grown kids in this story is like a chance to experience what that's like. As frustrating as it is, it's also incredibly fulfilling because of the unconditional love from these kids and what you're bringing into the world. And Nicholas does that so well. He does it so well with family, but I've seen other things that he's done, and he's so spot on in terms of how people would react with their own humanity that it like anyone watching, the things that we want to watch the most are the things that affect us. So when we're watching things, that his stuff is so easily accessible, so you're affected all the time. So I just think he's a really brilliant writer.
So since most of you are of Filipino descent or Filipinos, so how does the break time look like? Do you guys karaoke, eating ang adobo?
Are you kidding? The other day there was an ube cake, and then lumpia was delivered. So we had some lumpia. It is just, and then anytime we're in such rehearsal that anytime we get a chance to bond as people, it's like Filipino time. We very, very short times, in between. Pero ang daming stories about our lives and growing up Filipino. And Rena Beth's parents were our activists, like Filipino activists. And I had choreographed her in Imelda 20 years ago when she was a kid, and now she's playing my wife. So there's so much bonding, ang daming bonding during those break times.
So what's next for you, Reggie, after this play?
Oh boy, what is next? I don't know what's next. Um, there are a couple things I can't talk about, but I'll tell you off the record. You know, there are certain, things I can't even say it. I want to say it to you, but I can't even say it. But it's a TV thing. So it involves some of my past experiences in TV.
Wow.
So who knows what that may bring. But I'm also writing a few things that we're pitching. I'm developing some things with my Grimm showrunners
Mm.
that include a Filipino family, and it's really wonderful that we can collaborate together. And that's really my goal next, is to not just wait for these opportunities to happen, but to create opportunities for us, and myself. I'm not going to lie. But, you get offered these roles, and it's like, I want something deeper. I want something more. And I think the only way we're going to get that is to be able to write it and pitch it. And fortunately, I'm at a place in my career where I have representation and I have people that I've worked with that can move things along. So that's the next piece. And I'm really excited about that part of the trajectory.
Well, congratulations, Reggie, and thank you for
Thank
talking to
you.
us today.
You're amazing. And I just want to tell you how much you've done for all of us and how much we appreciate and love you
Oh, thank you.
always.
Thank you, Reggie.
Okay?
Okay.
Salamat.
Salamat din.